Hi guys, my name is Horam and it's my second part about state management. In this part, I will cover state manipulation, which means how to change state or data in state or even add a new data. And then I will talk about state management, which means how to share a state among various components. And at the end, I will try to cover uplifting state. So let's see the example project. I have a project which contains two files, employee and employee list. Actually, employee list contains a state and it calls employee, so we can see list of all the employees in the company. Now the question is, if the end user likes to add a new employee, then how is it possible? For this, we have to have a new component. We say new employee .js, and of course it will have local state, and when we have valid data in local state, then we shall update into the other state. So let's design the new file or new component. New create a file, new, and it will be functional components and this one. So new file, let's see, and add into the app.js so we can see it's really working. Let's see the results. Yeah, new file. So it means it's working. Now let's design the file or component. For each employee, we have these 5 properties. This is a random value, of course, but for these 4, we have to have HTML elements. So for first, for name, type, it's text and value, and it will be name. This is a name, it's a variable. Actually it's state variable, so we have to define in state. Class name set name is a function which will change the state, and then hook, and initial value is empty. So we have a state variable. Now have to define event handler, so we can change the value in state variable. So update const update name, and it's a function, and it's say, of course it will have event, and then call the function set name and target dot value. So when on change event, and it say update name. So when we change the value, it will call this function and it will change the state variable. Let's see if it's really working. For this, we have add a new button. Okay, just through submit with input type submit, and the name on click, let's say add an employee. It's a new function. And first, of course, event, and then event that event fall, and let's see if we have proper value of name variable. So let's check. We have say coder my name, and I click, and it says add employee event that win. Okay, default FAULT. Sorry, it's very late. And let's see, and it's actually working. So we can see now we are able to change the value of state variable. So we have defined this one. Now we have to do the same thing for rest of 3 properties, and actually I have already this one. So just to save the time, designation, image, and working, and I'm adding these state variables. Yes. And now for event handler for these, and these are update ID. Yeah, for updated we have to have ID as well, because each employee have unique ID. So const ID, set ID, use yeah, state, and it's, let's say we say 4. Now we have all the state variables, we have event handlers, and what missing? Yeah, event function, actually HTML elements. So I also have these. So not submit, and let's add between these 2. So we have field for designation, image name, and radio buttons for is working. Now let's see the form. Okay, it doesn't look nice. Let's add just a little bit style. A new EMP form, and actually I already have, it's nothing fancy, just width, margin, padding, nothing fancy, just to show a little bit more clean. Add, and now we have like this one. Now let's see if it's working. How we do that? We just at event handler, just like name, we can check the different values. For example, designation, image name is working, and then ID. Actually I'm just trying to check if all the values are properly updating. Okay, and say quorum logo and working. So we have quorum, developer, logo, working, and true. Why is not random? Because yeah, we are not calling anywhere. So let's call here. Actually we shouldn't. Anyhow, let's see. Quorum, developer, logo, and so logo true, and yes, random value. And if I say and not working, then I have false, and quorum PDF, developer, yes. So actually everything's working fine. Now we have defined this component which actually updating the local state. How to add this one? How to add the data into this state? Actually, practically here is a problem, because these both components are only the siblings. So there is no direct connection. So practically it's not possible. To solve this problem, there are a couple of solutions like Redux, like API, Contacts API, Recoil, and so on. But today in this part, I will cover uplifting state solution, which says if 2 components are sharing the same state, then state should be at the higher level where actually these both components are being used. So if now I am shifting state from this employee list to app.js, and now I will pass the state from these both components so we can use it. So let's do that. Right now the state is here, and just copy and delete and move into app.js here. Actually I should copy also this one, and now we have data, here, state here, and then pass the state in the form of props. So let's do that. We are calling employee list, so employees emps, and it's the same this one. Okay, and so we have employees list here, and then emps, and now we can see, yeah, it's working. Let's change the data so we can show app.js and say now I have Hashim instead of Hashim Shahzad. So it's working perfectly fine. Now the next, how to add this data from this one in the parent state, in the parent component, and we can do that. New employee, actually we have data here, local data, but first we have to pass the data in the form of props. So come here, and first is of course this one, employees, and the second is set emp and set emp. Yes, so we are having two props, emp is employees and set employees, and actually it's a function which can change the state. Now come here and separate it. First is emps employees and set employees, which is a function, and now here we can update the state, and it says set emp, which is a function, and because we having array, so just separate the initial state or array, and it's employees, and then new component. It is id, name, designation, image name is working, and that's it. Now let's see if it's working. We have forum, and designation is developer, logo 2.png, and so now we can add the employee. And if you say one more time Shahzad, of course the same, and this time we say it's not working in the company anymore, so the border should be red, and the border is red now. So the result is we have defined a component which we can add the data into the state, and through the solution name is uplifting state, because we move the state from this component to the parent component. Now is it a good solution? The answer is actually yes or no. If there are only two components like this one, is a very small solution, then we can say yes, but practically it's not a good solution. Why? Because we are using state here where actually there is no concern of state. App.js is not doing anything with the state. Actually state is being used here, not here. So state should not be in the component where it's actually not using. So it's not a good approach. First, and second thing is we have to pass state from this component to the employee list component, and then it passed to the employees component, and so on. Imagine if we have more component, then we are actually digging. We are putting the values in different component, and maybe it's possible that we are passing data to the component which actually not using a single property of the data, which is a wrong approach. So in next video I will show the example about context API, that how we can improve the solution. That's it for today, and thank you so much for watching. Have a nice time.